Welcome to Seaway Whisky Wire. Well, Victoria Day long weekend's on the horizon, and I thought it only fitting to craft a classic Caesar cocktail, not just for the Victoria long weekend, but also for National Caesar Day, which is always celebrated on the Thursday before the long weekend. So go watch the intro, come on back, and we'll craft this classic Canadian cocktail together. Stick around. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and yeah, Victoria Day long weekend's coming up, and I thought it only fitting to craft a classic Canadian cocktail, and why not our national cocktail, the Caesar, but also to celebrate the fact that National Caesar Day is always the Thursday before the long weekend in May. So yeah, a little bit of history on the Caesar before we craft it. So the Caesar cocktail was invented in 1969 by bartender Walter Chell at the Calgary Inn, which is now the Westin Calgary in Alberta, Canada. And Chell was inspired by one of his favorite Italian dishes, which uses clam juice as an ingredient. And wanting to create a unique cocktail, he experimented with all sorts of varieties of ingredients until he came up with the signature Caesar recipe, which is what we're going to be making today. The original Caesar recipe includes vodka, clamato juice, which is a blend of clam juice and tomato juice, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, or what's that here sauce, and a sprinkle of celery salt. The drink is typically garnished with celery stalks and wedges of limes, but over the years, there's been so many variations, and everyone kind of puts their spin on this. I've seen everything from, them garnished with some shrimp, to lobsters, to cheeseburgers, onion rings, whatever you want to do. You can do you, and that's the nice thing about this beverage. And despite its humble beginnings, the Caesar's grown in popularity to become a cultural icon in Canada. And it's often enjoyed as a brunch or a daytime cocktail, which can be found on many drink menus throughout the country and pretty much available any day of the week. And, we Canadians, we like our Caesars, I can tell you that. But yeah, today the Caesar is not just popular in Canada, it's available all over the world. I remember going to Cuba and they were making them there. I've seen them down in the U.S., at least the northern U.S. making them now. So they're starting to kind of compete with the Bloody Mary. I don't know if they ever will in the U.S., but I mean they're getting more popular all over the place. But they're certainly popular here in Canada. So without further ado, let's craft this classic Canadian cocktail. So I got a lot of stuff on my bar here, but I mean I can assure you it looks like a lot, but it's honestly not that hard. So what are we going to need to craft this classic cocktail? Well, you're going to need to start off with a nice fresh lime. So I'll give that a little bit of a roll there to get the juices flowing inside the lime. Next, you're going to need some Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce. What's that here sauce? You're going to need some Worcestershire sauce. I usually have Lee Perrins, but I've got French's in the fridge today, so that's what we're going to use. Next is Tabasco sauce. Hot sauce you can use. I prefer Tabasco. It just adds that little bit more of a heat to it, but you're welcome to use Frank's or any other hot sauce that you might have available to you. Vodka is next. We got a nice little vodka here from Windsor, Ontario, Copper Rose. I picked this up at the LCBO and actually met the founder, Dan, a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I'm really anxious to try it in a Caesar today. Then you're going to need the star of the show, which is the clamato juice. Mott's is primarily what people use. Walters makes its own blend of clamato as well. I decided to go with Matt and Steve's today. Canadian original, lightly seasoned, and made in Canada. So how can you go wrong with that? So we're going to use Matt and Steve's today, and then you can garnish it with all sorts of stuff. I normally would use a celery stalk. I actually prefer Matt and Steve make some lovely pickled beans, so that's what I'm going to use for my garnish today. But again, I'll put some pictures up all over the place during the video. You can use whatever you want to make, whatever you want to use for garnish for sure. So let's craft this. So what do you got to do first? We build it right in the glass. So I'm using this lovely pint glass here from Triple Bogey that I won at golf, and I actually quite like the glass. So grab your lime, and we're going to give this a cut and create a wedge. Give yourself a couple wedges. I actually had the lime after too. So grab yourself a lime wedge, and we're going to scour the lip of the glass. Just get some nice lime action going on there. I should have put this in the list too, but you need some rimmer there. So I actually picked this up at the grocery store today. It's Matt and Steve's Caesar rimmer. So I've got that laying here. So once you've scoured the lip of the glass, you want to just take and dump that in there. And the reason we do this is we're going to build it, and we don't want to get the salt and stuff and all the other ingredients. So rim your glass. Ice is next. We're going to add some fresh ice. And don't fill it all the way to the top, and be careful not to ding the rim up. Get her pretty close to the top there, just like that. That's perfect. Next we need to add our Tabasco sauce. I add 1 drop. Why 1 drop? Well, you can always add more if you like, but if you're making it for somebody that's not too sure of, add 1 drop, and again, they can always add more. It's easier to add heat than it is to remove heat. For me, though, I'm going to put a couple more in because I do like it a little spicy. But 1 drop. Worcestershire sauce is next. What's that here sauce? Worcester, whatever you want to call it there. And you just need a few dashes of it to put it in there. I do like a little bit more of it, but so I'm going to put a little bit more in mine, but just a few dashes will do. Spirit of choice is next, our vodka. So you're going to want 2 ounces of vodka in there. 2 ounces of our Copper Rose Canadian-made vodka from Windsor. Dump that right in the glass. Just like so. Then you want to fill with your Clamato juice. Make sure your Clamato juice is chilled. Give it a nice shake there, and we're just going to top that up. Just like that. Now, before you serve this to anybody, it's always good just to give it a little stir. Don't go too crazy, just enough to kind of get everything combined together. You saw me put the Worcestershire sauce in there, you saw me put the Tabasco sauce in there, and the vodka, and you want to make sure all that vodka is not just sitting on the bottom. So just give it a little bit of a agitation there with your bar spoon. Garnish is next. Again, Matt and Steve make these nice pickled beans. I'm going to stick those in there. Right on the sides like that. Take your lime you used to scour if you're like me and you're only going to make the 1 Caesar. Just go ahead and stick that on there too as a little bit of a garnish as well. And then I take 1 other lime wedge and I just like to put that right on top. Again, that's optional. This is how I make a Caesar. Grab yourself a straw. There you have it, guys. Classic Canadian Caesar. Cheers. Savory, tomatoey, a little bit spicy in there too. I might actually add a little bit more Tabasco sauce just for mine. I like mine a little more spicy than that. You get some different flavors in there because of the Worcestershire sauce. The vodka is very much masked. You don't even see it in there. And then the Clamato juice. This Mike and Steve's one, I've never actually had. I'm actually really impressed with it. I was trying to get the Walters brand, but it was sold out in my area, so I ended up going with Matt and Steve's. I just can't stomach Clamato juice and all the additives and stuff in it. But this one here is made in Canada, all natural for the most part, and yeah, very good. And that lime just kind of adds a little bit of a citrus flair to it. So yeah, enjoy National Caesar Day. Enjoy the Victoria Day long weekend. If you're in the U.S., have a great weekend. And make yourself a Caesar cocktail today. You'll be glad you did. And inject yourself with a little bit of Canadian over the long weekend. And if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whisky Wire, you guys know the drill. Like and subscribe down below. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Seaway Whisky Wire. Thanks for hanging around this long. If you're still here, appreciate it. And I love bringing these videos to you guys. And love you guys commenting. So if you want to comment, what's your favorite Clamato juice, or what's a better vodka? Have you tried Copper Rose? Great little product here, distilled 12 times from Windsor, Ontario. Yeah, hopefully have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on YouTube there. So cheers, all the best to your health. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.